Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Kauai County Council Roundup. We are covering yesterday's committee meetings. That was January 22nd. Only a few items on the agenda. We'll go over them today. My name is Mel Rapozo, Council Chair with Vice Chair Kipukai Kualii.
Aloha.
We appreciate you guys tuning in. First item on the agenda yesterday was a briefing from our county engineer's office regarding the National Flood Insurance Program. Basically, FEMA comes out with this plan every year. They go through the flood maps and they determine where the flood-prone areas are, and they determine who needs flood insurance. They also, while they manage the flood insurance program, it is up to the individual property owners to secure insurance, flood insurance from insurance companies that actually work in partnership with FEMA. So it was an interesting briefing. As you know, in the last couple of years, we've had several significant flooding events causing a lot of damages to property owners. So it is a program that is out there and available for homeowners that are in flood areas. So if you guys have any questions on any of the issues that we talk about here at the recap or at our council meetings, feel free to reach out to our office and we'll get you the necessary information.
We did have this come before council, was it a couple of years back when there was talk about the Waimea levies and
Yes.
the investments that need to be made there, yeah, to help the people in Waimea Valley with their insurance too, with some of the new requirements by FEMA as well. Well, in their presentation yesterday too, they talked about a community rating system, which was another level that our county has applied for. It was a very extensive application process. They recently got approval. They got approved at, I think they said level 8, which meant that we're going to be able to realize 10% discounts for our people's insurance. And then they still continue to work on it, and with each level they improve, it's an additional 5% discount. So
Every little bit helps.
Move in the right direction, sounds like it. So,
Yeah,
and every little bit absolutely helps.
That community rating system is voluntary. It's not required, but our Public Works Division has decided to participate. And really that is to, like Mr. Kualii said, provide an opportunity for our insurance, the insurance clients to have a discount in their premiums, which is always
I
appreciated.
thought it was interesting too. You asked them about the floods, individual flood studies, and how some of them were pretty old, like 10, 20 years old. And then they sort of admitted too that with climate change and how things are changing, those studies have to be updated as well.
Yeah, I mean, really, 20-year-old flood study for a specific area? Yeah, I think they're kind of outdated, right? I mean, come on.
Look at what happened on the North Shore with all the, what do they call it, a rain bomb? That
Yeah.
everything's different.
Everything's
much more severe, our weather patterns and everything.
After that, we had a mid-year budget review. We haven't done this in a long time, but I decided that I wanted to see where we're at in our budget after the first 6 months. So every year, as we're approaching the budget session come March, we want to see where we're at mid-year. We want to see, based on what we budgeted, what we provided, the funding we provided to the administration, where are we at the 6-month point, the halfway point, as it relates to, are we over budget, under budget? And I think for the most part, I was very satisfied with the presentation that on the average, we're really where we should be based on what we provided. But if you look at the individual items, some areas we underfunded significantly and some we overfunded. So while it all averages out to about a 51% of where we should be, we still got to scrutinize those funding lines that are over budgeted or under budgeted and make the necessary adjustments coming up in March.
Yeah, and they pretty much showed us the numbers in different ways with different kind of charts and graphs and Excel spreadsheets. I mean, Managing Director Reiko Matsuyama gave credit to Ken Shimonishi, our budget manager, for putting all of this together. Pretty extensive, meaning with color charts and everything, which made it pretty clear. And She did go through where there were discrepancies, where it was running low or running high, with the reasons why. Very, very valid, reasonable explanation. So, yeah, I thought this was a great thing to see, especially now with budget coming up and all. So,
Yeah, it was very informative, and I think I feel a lot better now than I did before we had the presentation. I not to be the negative guy, but I didn't expect it. It just seems like we weren't on track, but I was wrong. We are on track, and much mahalo to Reiko and her team, and Ken Shimonishi, I call him the budget sensei. He's a master for putting this in a format that even non-financial people
yeah,
can understand.
or
It's awesome.
or makes it interesting.
Yeah, the colors are really cute.
I'm
I love the
interested
color.
in numbers all the time
I don't know
anyway,
if you guys
but
can see these colors.
easy to follow.
So pretty. And then we had the committee meeting on one of our bills, the settlement and compromise powers. This is basically giving the director of property tax division the ability to settle some of these appeals that come through from real property tax. Sometimes our tax assessments or tax bills are in error, and we have two options, right? Number one, you can actually file a formal appeal and go before the review board. But this will now provide the real property tax division to take a look at some of these complaints or concerns prior to it going to a full appeal process and giving them the ability to settle some of these without going through the unnecessary burden of an appeal. And I think that's a good thing. So that did pass out of the committee on a 6-1 vote. It'll come up for final reading next week. And then the final item, which was quite, I don't want to say disturbing, but it was disappointing.
Yeah.
The Kauai Humane Society has an issue with overcrowding, overpopulation at the Humane Society at the shelter, and Padraig Gallagher, who's the new executive director there, he showed some photos of the crowdedness
Yeah.
in these kennels where you have 4 dogs to a kennel. How many cats?
8, I think.
8 cats to a kennel. It's not good for the dogs. It's not good for the cats, and it's also not good for the staff that has to take care of these animals. And because of the numbers of animals, they broke it down by staff persons at the shelter, and they really only have about 5 minutes a day per animal to deal with the feeding, the cleaning, and the socializing. So
Yeah.
they're at a crisis, and they didn't come to us to ask for more money, which was interesting. But they did come to ask us to spread the word
Spread the
about,
word.
boy, folks, be
Education.
responsible pet owners.
They need the help from the community, right? They need the community to do their part to keep the population down, to make sure that you spay and neuter, and make sure when you take in a pet, you realize it's a long-term commitment and you stick to that commitment. Don't just, set the pet free or drop it off at the Humane Society. It was sad. He showed a box where people just dropped up a box of puppies. The puppies by themselves and too young to be away from the mom. So they said puppies is very high intensive because they have to feed them every 2 hours. And I guess too, that's why they do these programs with foster and adopt and what have you, because they need more volunteers as well. They said their volunteers is way down too. I guess a lot of things changed with COVID and all, they talked about how during COVID, everybody wanted animals, and then afterwards, a lot of them decided, no, it's not for them. So, but yeah, the puppies take intensive care, every 2 hours feeding.
Oh, can you imagine?
And there was a box with a mom and kittens, but they said when the mom's with the kittens, the mom takes care of everything.
They only got to feed them.
Yeah, feed
They
the
only gotta
mom,
feed the
the
mom.
mom feeds the kittens.
Yeah, one of the big
is
issues
sad.
and one of the big causes of this overabundance of animals being dropped off at the gate, and that's better than dropping them off at Aokini Pier,
Yes,
or
for
dropping them
sure.
off in the back cane roads. But our housing situation here now, because of the housing shortages and because of the amount of property owners and landlords that don't allow pets, These are people that are getting possibly evicted from their current home or having to move out of their current home that allows pets, and the only options are homes or apartments that don't allow pets. These animals are ending up at the shelter. So it's a community problem that we got to deal with. So I think it's very fair for the Humane Society to
Yeah.
ask the community for help and say, hey, spay and neuter, make sure your animals are chipped, and think, like Mr. Kualii said, giving. I know throughout my life, I know people, and I've seen on social media like, oh, thank you, Grandma, for giving me a puppy for Christmas. Grandma, the puppy, like you said, is an 18, 15-year commitment.
15,
So don't be
20.
giving them away as Christmas gifts. No, it's, you gotta know the commitment. You gotta know the responsibility.
The other thing too, I think if I heard it right, the Humane Society is actually appealing to the community at large, but they're even appealing to landlords. Like, we need more landlords willing to take pets, because then places are hard to find anyway. But if someone can't find a place and they have a pet, which is part of their family, I mean, it's pretty tragic if what it comes down to is they have to, surrender the pet, cat or dog, whatever, to the Humane Society. And then their population just keeps growing and growing. They definitely, I mean, you look at their numbers, they definitely have a crowded overpopulation, and
Yeah.
the community's gotta help somehow.
So whatever we can do, they have a fostering program where you can foster an animal or a pet, a dog or a cat, for as long as you want. There's obviously the adoptions where you're adopting and now making that part of your family. And also volunteers, if you just want to volunteer your time to go help out with the socializing of the dogs or help clean kennels, whatever it may be, whatever, and you be around animals all day, please consider helping them out. They also talked about, and I can't remember the name of their cafe, or not the cafe, but they give away pet food for those that need it.
Something like Gus's Galley or Gomez's Galley.
Gomez's,
It was a Latin name, yeah.
Gomez's Galley. I had no idea.
Yeah, I didn't know about it either.
Yeah, and
No questions asked.
Yes.
So if you need food for your pet, you can just go by and.
so for those of you that are struggling, if you can afford it, go buy your food from the local market. But for those of you that are struggling and need some help, go down to Humane Society and go pick up your free bags of dog or cat food. That was impressive. And in fact, he said it's just a shame that more people don't know about it. Well, we're telling you guys right now that it is available. Gomez's
Galley.
and you can go get your dog food or your cat food. And I got to say, I'm very pleased with the transition that has occurred with
Yep.
Pedrick. And he was with the Red Cross for so long, did that organization very well. And now he's at the Humane Society, different sets of challenges. And I know he's up for it. And I think he'll do a great job.
Yeah, absolutely.
And aside from that, man, that's about it.
That was it. It was a fairly quick meeting.
Quick meeting. Good to be back. I was gone for a little bit, but I am back, and I want to thank Mr. Kualii for covering up for me while I was gone. And we'll see you next week, I guess.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, I forgot. Channel 53 on Hawaii. You can watch our council meetings. And also Hawaii.org. Awesome programming. You can do a lot of things on Hawaii.org. They also have an app that you can download to your smartphone. Or you can watch all of our council meetings at www.kauai.gov. Hit the webcast meetings button, and you can watch any of our meetings live on Wednesdays at 8:30 in the morning, or all of our meetings are archived, and you can watch it at your convenience. So now with that, until next time, take care. God bless. Away home.
Mahalo, Roger. Aloha.